Hey everyone, this is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome to the stream. Just loading up the game. Welcome Alyosha, Tag, Azraya, Panicking, King Brolly. Welcome everyone. Okay, had 2 days off. And we're back now to continue case 2 of Ace Attorney Investigations. Also, Panicking, your sub has gone through properly. There we go. Thanks for subbing, Panicking. Okay. Turnabout Airlines End Part 1. So it's End Part 1. So I guess there's still 2 more segments to go. So we'll just see how we go with how far we can get today with this case. Top, yep, that one there. That's the layout I use for if they're equal, if the 2 screens are equally important, then I figure out which screen we want to look at, and then I swap to that one. Yeah, so I've got 3 different layouts depending on which screens we want to look at. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so let's try and remember what the heck was happening. Alright, so there was a murder on a flight that Edgeworth was on. He was accused of being the murderer, but he's cleared his name. Now someone else is the suspect, though, unfortunately. Right, so there's the badge. The badge is very important. Actually, let's swap screens so we can go through everything. This is the victim. I still don't know what connection anyone has to this victim. He had some kind of device. It was like a cell phone around his neck that someone took. They murdered him and took it, so maybe he had some sensitive information. This is an attendant who was helping us with our investigation, and now she's the suspect. Yeah, she was kind of dodgy, but we found out why she was being dodgy. You know, she doesn't seem guilty, I don't think. She designed these terrible suitcases, and she was like being dodgy about them because she was embarrassed no one bought them. That was kind of her whole thing. She's a suspect, though. I don't think she's guilty. There's Zinc LeBlanc. He's annoying as heck. Maybe he's guilty. I don't know. Don't know. Cammy, another attendant. She could also be guilty. And Francisca is now here. Oh, wrong button. So we're trying to work with her now that we've proven to her that we're innocent. And Gumshoe's here, because he's Gumshoe. He's good. Alright, let's just start playing, and we should remember how everything fits together as you play. Okay. Yeah, I put the badge on this side, since I couldn't see it past the microphone on that side, so it's on this side now. Alright, March 12, 2:52 PM, flight I-390. Lower deck, cargo hold. Yeah, so we were in flight, but then now the flight has actually landed. And so now we're trying to figure out who the murderer is. That's why Francisca and Gumshoe are here now. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! Oh, there's a lot of those revolting suitcases. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So, is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Oh yeah. Lower deck cargo hold. Alright, right into it. Thanks, Alyosha. Yeah, I'm not too sore today, so... Put both badges on. Transcend definition to be Alpha and Omega. Be the judge. Very good. Very good. Alright. Let's talk to... Oh, hang on, that's right. We have a partner button for Gummy, because he's our current partner. Yes, sir! This cargo hold is really big. I can't believe they can fit stuff like that in here. Detective, what are you going on about? We're in the middle of an investigation here. Whoa! Stuff's falling on me! I can't get really into my work without something like this happening first. Well, let's get this show on the road. So, which item do you want to start on? In this world, there are those who are masochistic, and then there is Gumshoe. So, that flight attendant, Rhoda Tenero, she's the killer, isn't she? I don't think we can say for sure yet. But there certainly are a great number of things pointing us in that direction. You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase? Yes. However, in regard to the keycard being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. That's right, yeah, so we're currently thinking that whoever did the murder had to be one of the attendants, someone with access to the keycard. But the master keycard was stolen, so Oh, gotta badge him. Got to badge him. It's very important. Badge. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. I think something just fell out of your pocket. Oh, that's right, we saw this one before. That's right, he dropped his badge while trying to badge him. So I don't think he's going to have much new dialogue. Yeah. Alright, this isn't new. Anything new to show him? Suitcase receipt? Yeah. Alright, I don't think there's anything new to show him. Ah, thanks, Alyosha. We'll be sore after we're through with Frenzy. Good point. Speaking of Frenzy, you arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. She came to this airport as an Interpol liaison. Okay. Interpol is involved. It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. Okay. Check out my badge. There's something much more urgent we should be dealing with right now. Don't waste my time, or yours. Alright, well, at least you didn't whip me. Check out this horrible suitcase. No, okay. Bet something important? No, okay. I don't think she has anything else to say. Check out this piggy bank. What do you think about this piggy bank, Francisca? What do I think? What else is there to think but that it's a murder weapon? I meant, what do you think about the Mr. Eyefly itself? It's a crude rendition of a genus of primates commonly referred to as slow lorises. Loris comes from the Dutch word for simpleton, which is extremely fitting, because that's exactly what Mr. Eyefly represents. The guilty simpleton I'm going to arrest. I don't suppose she's capable of giving a more normal answer. That was a lot of words. A loris? I've never heard that word before. Footprints. Cell phone. We still haven't found the cell phone yet. Alright. Maybe Gummy will appreciate the suitcase. Oh, okay. See what he has to say about it. This is horrifying suitcase. So, this design! It's so postmodern, sir! Postmodern, you say? Yeah, especially this alien-shaped handle here. You can really feel a connection. That's right, I think we've seen this dialogue before, but I forget where it goes. Connection. Right. Detective, please stop with your horrible impression of an art critic. But I was only telling you my honest feelings, sir. Aw. Alright, let's look around. Oh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It can't move. Oh, yeah. I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special keycard. Both the door to the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a keycard, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one, it says pharmaceuticals. This one says for exorcism use only. What? Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Hey Sanatuka, how are you? Yeah, I want a gumshoe game as well, that'll be fun. Exorcism use only, what? Anything to look at up here? No, okay. Firefly may cry. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir. I haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So, this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. What? It looks like a profile on Francisca. Is he an Interpol agent? Was he meant to meet her? Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? Okay, that's my current theory. He might have worked for Interpol. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth! It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Mr. Nero wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. It definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments? Glass shards. Okay. Yeah, Gumshoe would be perfect for a point-and-click adventure narrative. Yes, he would. Yeah, $1,200 for one of these monstrosities. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Thanks for following. I'm not going to read your name, because, yeah. Oh, can't I ask Gumshoe about that story? I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo. This thing's as tall as 2 of you on top of each other, sir. It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity. What? Really? Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. There's really no need to take that throwaway estimate seriously, Detective. What's under here? Maybe it's one of the art things that that guy was transporting? The art pieces? Yeah, not much to look at down here, actually, is there? I think we're already done looking around. Nothing else to look at in the suitcase? Already seen all that. I'm surprised we can't, like, zoom in on it and investigate it. Yeah. What we get? Ah, broken glasses and glass shards. Okay. Seems like they go together. Logic. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses! Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Yeah, that should be easy, right? Alright, so yeah, the profile and the Interpol come together to try and deduce that he's an agent. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Franziska? Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Franziska said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do. My logic button is greyed out. I can't logic anymore. I logicked till there's no logic left. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So, you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. I like how the smuggling icon is just a picture of a crate with like no signal on it. No crates allowed. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Oh! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Ah, we've got some smugglers on board, haven't we? Franziska, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew, and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. So the person who let him in was probably the murderer. Achievement unlocked. Have Franzi not address you by your full name. Just gonna drink some water. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then... the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and... they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it up... the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. That was a short little segment. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tennero. Bum bum bum. Definitive evidence. Some colours look a little off, like Francie's hair. Yeah, her hair looks a bit more grey than it should, doesn't it? Looks like that on my DS as well. Hang on. If I can not drop the DS, that would be good. Yeah. Can't really see it very well, can you? Yeah, it looks kind of grey on my screen too. So maybe it's just what this game looks like. Maybe they did they touch up the colours in the HD versions of the trilogy? Maybe. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tennero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Rebuttal. So the real question is, can we prove if the keycard was stolen or not? If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. Hold it! That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Aw. Hooray! I guess that's supposed to be like a neigh. I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well. Then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal? I thought you might ask about her. I mean, planes do have autopilot, but I'm assuming it's very much against regulations to leave the cockpit, even with autopilot, so... I don't know much about planes, though. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. But it's highly likely that the key card was stolen from Miss Tennero. It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, I... Be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tennero, you know. It's not just the key card that gives her away. Oh, you're talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. iFly piggy bank. Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case. But the display case was broken, so... Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. Murderous bank. Unless you have a co-pilot. Ah, yeah. So I don't think there's a co-pilot here. They haven't mentioned one, so... But that is a fake. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? My save file. Definitely. Definitely my save. I didn't even really look at the options, I just hit save. Alright, what do we got? Piggy bank, crime scene, and body. So my real guess is body, because I mean, we're arguing that he was killed and then someone hit him with the piggy bank to get blood on it, so he should have been hit multiple times. So I'll try the other options first. Piggy bank. Hey, thanks for following for the horde. We should examine the bank itself once more to determine if it is the real murder weapon. If this is the real weapon, it should be damaged or perhaps have a dent in it somewhere. We've looked into that already and there is no sign of anything on it. But we can't discount it as the murder weapon on that one fact alone. The piggy bank is, after all, made of a stronger material than human flesh. If I can't prove it through the piggy bank itself, then I must find another way. Crime scene. Yeah, the DS save times are pretty long, aren't they? We've been spoiled with that HD re-release of the original trilogy that was just lightning fast. I think we should examine the crime scene in more detail. We might turn up the murder weapon if we search all of the cargo and luggage. Did you think I hadn't thought of that? Even now we're searching through them. But we haven't found anything that even closely resembles a murder weapon. So, alright then. I suppose we should examine something else. He supposes. Alright. Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes. We don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy! Yes, sir? Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Yes, sir? Oh, he just takes off. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Oh. What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area? Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Ah. He was hit multiple times. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's... Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless! So that didn't help at all. Hang on, let's look at this autopsy report. Instantaneous death resulting from blow to back of head. Bruising head to mid-back. Got more details here. Ooh. Victim, Ackby Hicks, age 28. Time of death, March 12, between 3 AM and 4:30 AM. Cause of death, cranial contusion due to blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Remarks, appears to have been extensively beaten on the upper half of his back. Instantaneous death. So he died immediately, but they kept hitting him, from the sounds of it. That's awful. Time of death, what time zone is it? Yeah, that's a good question. I guess local times? But, I'm not sure, actually. Whoops. Didn't mean to open that again. No! Sir, I told you already. You can't go down there. Here we go. No, you remove yourself from my way. What is all that racket? Yeah, this guy. Forget how I voiced this guy. My luggage, my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think he'd get... Hey, what are you... You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Arr! You won't get past me. This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. He's falling to possibly his death. Let's just pause time for a sec. Further, there is the matter of the keys, the display case that held the murderous bank. Good night, Ezra. Thanks for hanging out. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. Ah, they fell as well. Okay. He's still falling. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Extensive bruising. Edgy's oldest and strongest secret weapon, the autopsy report. Like, that Ridley sprite's really good. That Ridley MO, that's definitely slow beef. Yeah, that's slow beef. Nice. Did you draw that one, Ezra? It's really good. Are they okay? we're too busy having an epiphany here. Alright. Weapon couldn't be found. I'm guessing that, I mean, they fell. How do I put these pizzas together? How do they fit together? Weapon couldn't be found, and I mean we're going for they fell, but which one of these? Smuggling? Or they fell under luggage? I don't know. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. You do it, Edgeworth. I don't know how your mind works. Cause of death? Nope. Okay. Some way to prove this isn't the real murder weapon. It's like I'm kind of guessing here. Okay. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. A $900 Virtual Boy game in a game shop today. Oh my gosh. Nah, Virtual Boy is it's a Nintendo console that did really poorly. And so they didn't really sell many of them, or make many of them. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. And back we go. Sizable weapon. I mean, which of these is what we're going for? So, well, this is the motive for death. I think I've got to do this first, and then we point towards the motive. Yeah. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. Is he okay? What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francisca. What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? Let's save my game. Hey, counting kittens. Yeah, that was a tricky one. I had to kind of like... Yeah, it's like a step-by-step and you have to go through the right order. No. He really jumped. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. Gumshoe's the only one who's worried. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Just go check on him, Gumshoe. They're having a sibling rivalry thing. Come on then. Show me this real murder weapon you speak of. Retro. Do we have evidence to show? I mean, he fell to his death. Do we have something to show that? That's what I'm going for anyways. Virginian cloth. But how does this factor in? This is part of what he fell on? Okay, I'll try and show that. Oh, okay, this is we'll go for a wrong one first. Don't have evidence to show. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool. From a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. Oh gosh. Okay, free fall. Suffocation! He suffocated because... I don't know. The victim suffered from a lack of oxygen in the elevator and suffocated. And the bruising on his back and his broken neck was caused by his sudden fall to the ground. You are like a fly buzzing in my ear. Be gone! Oh. Suffocation and strangulation is sort of the same. Sort of. I guess suffocation that can be done several ways, like cover the face with a pillow, or just there not being enough oxygen in the elevator. Whereas strangulation, I think, is like specifically going for the neck. I think. I'm not sure though. Oh, that wasn't such a bad guess, Mr. Edgeworth. Was that a shred of proof? Did he just accuse me of making a good guess? Wait. He did imply I was on the right track. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. Strangulation! Definitely. The victim was strangled to death inside the elevator. But there are no marks on his neck because the killer found a way to hide them somehow. And the bruising on his back and his broken neck was caused by his sudden fall to the ground. Care to explain how the killer magically erased strangulation marks from around his neck? Edgeworth is reminding me of Nick now. In that case, please allow me to demonstrate. That's going to leave a mark. Oh, that wasn't such a bad guess, Mr. Edgeworth. We've got our health low, so I kind of want to check the game over at this point. Suffocation is cutting off airflow. Strangulation is cutting off blood flow. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Shall we try and go for a game over? It's going to take a few wrong answers, but we should be able to skip through them. I wonder if it's the same as the game over we had before. But Tenero isn't here now, so we'll probably get some different dialogue. Yeah, I don't think I can go back to present evidence from this point, but I can load my save to do that. You want to see Francie whip a fly? Yeah, she probably could. Once more. Rip. That's as far as you go, Miles Edgeworth. I've known the truth now for quite some time, and I won't allow you to dawdle. What? But we haven't completed the investigation yet. It's obvious that the culprit is Miss Rhoda Tenero. There's no one else it could have been. No, it can't end like this. And then Miss Tenero was kept in custody under the pretense of a valuable witness. And the truth was lost forever. For all eternity, sorry. Yeah, it was similar enough to what we got last time. Let's present evidence this time. Mash through the text. I think you all know which evidence we're going to present too. Show evidence. This is the real murder weapon. But I have concluded that this is the real weapon, I suppose. What is that supposed to mean, you fool? That was practice just now for when I would show you the real murder weapon. That's one of the worst excuses he's come up with. Why don't we add practice whippings to your routine as well? I need to think about the circumstances of the victim's death in a different way. There's a wide bruise running from the victim's shoulder down to his mid-back. Maybe I should be focusing on what could cause such a large bruise in one strike. You never did figure out what those nick-like spikes on Edgy's shoulder are on the title screen. Oh, I didn't notice that. I'll, next time we see the title screen, I'll try and figure it out. Free fall. Free falling. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. Okay, so did the turbulence make him fall? Was this an accident, or did someone push him? The story the theory we're going with is that the turbulence happened when they were in the elevator. Okay, so I think he was pushed. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. Has it though? Better save. Save my video game. Eventually. Oh, that's his... the spikes... That's actually his cravat, you know, his frilly neck thing. Yeah, it's not his shoulder, it's his cravat. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then... we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet. Why are you screaming? He's alive! And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. They made a cargo stop. Did he die before then? Because the cargo would have been moved around in here. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been aboard Ginny and Pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now? It's a notice about the, refueling. But my badge might also do it. Doesn't this show sufficient probability to you? Why are you asking me? I was the one asking you. I think there's some possibility in that, sir. No one was asking for opinions from the instant noodle crowd, Scruffy. Ooh, yikes. I suppose this is where the phrase, to be whipped by one's opponent, came from. Don't act as though you have nothing to do with this. Now answer the question. I suppose she's right, but first I should reconsider all the information I have. Yeah, they transferred cargo and refueled. So that's when that giant thing was added. You refueled in the Republic of Zengfar? Yes. This flight had a short layover in Zengfar in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. Yeah, case 2 is actually longer than I expected. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labelled Zengfar Express. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zengfar. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe to Zengfar leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then, allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. More investigating. Let's look at the new evidence in here. Okay, they changed this one. It was loaded aboard during the refueling between 4 and 5 AM at the transfer point. And we've got a picture of it now. Bed sheets. There's a box of bed sheets. If I may have a word with you, Francisca, I don't think you have the time for idle chatter. You still need to prove to me that your hypothetical situation is, in fact, reality. How about you? If you spot anything off, you come and tell me right away, okay, pal? Roger, sir. It's rather unusual for Gumshoe to be so directing. He must outrank this officer. If you run into any trouble, you just leave it up to me, okay? Yes, sir. Ah, watch out, Detective Gumshoe. Oh! Scruffy, I think your ego is in need of some deflating. I was following in your footsteps, sir. I want to try patronising my subordinates. Cruel and unforgiving to the detective, even in front of his own subordinates. So, Mr. Hicks was actually an Interpol agent. That is so cool! I can't believe he was from Interpol! The adventure, the glamour, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy! Except in this case, there was no big escape. And no miracle. The miracle... I won't bother finishing that, you'll know what I'm going for. Oh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Ah, this is the same. Of course, the cases are longer for me because I want to examine everything and try everything. Do all the things. Whereas a lot of players would just go straight for that cargo. All sorts of boxes. Okay, most of this hasn't changed. How's that guy? Is he up here? You can rant at me and Virginian all you want, but no still means no, sir. What? You cheap man! You were only waiting for me to give you money, yes? This guy's really pushy. I wonder if he really makes any sales this way. As long as I never have to face him in court, he can be as pushy as he wants. What if he's a witness, Edgy? Yes, sir. Man, I can't believe Mr. Hicks fell to his death. I never would have guessed in a million years. That is still only a hypothesis. However, the investigation should prove it to be true. Speaking of falling, I'm glad that our guy's okay. He took quite the spill. Yes, he was lucky to have landed on top of that piece of cargo. Yeah, I can just see it now. Passenger pays price for police foul up. Did Prosecutor Edgeworth add fuel to the fire of the first murder with a second death? Yep, I'm willing to bet that it'd make the front page. That's not funny, Detective. He didn't think about that until now. Anything to say about the cargo? Nope, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's what I was going for, Santa 2K. I still want to ask him about that. Yeah, well. Oh. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Alif Red Statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. Yeah, this is one of his art pieces. No. Nice work, officer. Nice work. Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Yeah. And he fell on it. Poor Edgy can't have his last frame of damage animation without his prosecutor bench. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the last frame is him like leaning over going, nah. He's got no bench to lean on here. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc? Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Alif Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn, how did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. Jerk. Jerk. Check out my badge, jerk. Ah, yeah. He just tries to... I'll show him the cargo. Why do you show me something of no value? Show me the bread first, maybe we'll talk. It's your cargo, mate. Wait, he wants me to pay him before he'll comment on this? What about... I think I've shown him this cloth, haven't I? Ah. What a waste! How horrible to see a priceless piece of cloth soiled! I assure you it wasn't me. I believe it to be the work of the killer. I will teach that killer a lesson. You can be sure I will. It will be the LeBlanc Revolution. I think he meant the LeBlanc Retribution, but either way, it sounds intimidating. Yeah, I guess there's not much info to get out of him. What can we do with the logic button? Is he a smuggler? Put my only two things together. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. Fake statue? Whoa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Fake statue. How do we know it's fake? About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. But what? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day. The cargo was put onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in this certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. Oh, butts. Drink some water. Edgy jump cancels each of his damage animation in this game. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right. This? I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the olive red? It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. Olive red statue. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Yeah, this is the one that was in that photo with the victim. Well, we move the other cargo around. So, this is the infamous olive red statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Okay. So this is the olive red statue. I swear I've seen this somewhere before. No wonder this thing is worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir. I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining. The eyes. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem? That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels. Oh, but they kind of remind me of the eyes of this stray cat that lives near my house. Are the eyes supposed to be this colour? Is it possible this statue is a fake? Oh, thanks for spoiling the puzzle for me, Edgy. He spoiled my puzzle! Nothing new there. Ooh, what's... Oh, it's placed on top of that. Is that something important, I wonder? What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbour's cloth cover. It kinda resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. You, what did you say now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. Yeah. Sure. Suitcase. The leftover suitcases sit here, lined up in 2 pretty, neat rows. Too bad for Mr. Nero, but this design is unmarketable. Oh, why don't they sell them in the airport and have a bargain basement sale? Buy one and get one free. If you win the raffle, you get one more for free. How about those ideas, sir? I think if they did that, everyone would lose. I mean, those are better ideas than what they're currently doing, selling them on board a plane. I mean, Gumshoe's got the right idea there. What have we here? It says Zengfar Express on the cloth, sir. I'm going to take a guess and say that this delivery company is based in Zengfar. Something is tugging on the corner of my mind, as though something is out of place. Yeah, this has been moved on top of that cloth, but that should have been taken on board during the refueling. So that's... yes. I'm thinking someone replaced his statue. If he's not in on it, of course. What colour eyes we got? And they're red. You can't believe there are double-deck passenger planes that has a cargo hold big and strong enough to carry a freaking stone statue. Yeah. Yeah, you'd think this would have to be transported by ship or something. Yep. Deduce. Is this spot somehow connected? Yes, yes it is, Edgy. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the colour of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What colour are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah, sir, they're red. As I thought, this statue is a fake. It's a fake. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Elif Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... what is that? Sympathy? For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then. Oh! It is a photo of a statue on display at the museum in Europe. No! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. Ah, fake! I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zengfar, and I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Well, that's this. I think you're the fake statue around here. I'll make you eat those words. Those teeth. Yeah, actually, those teeth are kind of creepy, aren't they? What's this? Stepping all over its name is cloth cover, blah blah blah. Ah, okay. But that's the proof we're looking for. Ah, I guess I need to deduce. Okay, what am I pointing out though? What are we comparing it with? The statue, I guess? Red statue. Fake piece being shipped by Mr. LeBlanc. Not worth a cent, let alone, what, 10 million? No, it'd still be worth a cent. It's just not worth 10 million. The jewels in the eye sockets, they were made to look just like real gems. So you mean, these aren't real? Do you really think the forgers would waste that kind of money on a replica? I guess not. Oh, I just got a really great idea. I can probably find some rocks down by the river I can polish up to look like real jewels. I think I'll try that out and give one to Maggie as a present next time. Look at that. I wonder if he's serious. And I wonder if I should try to stop him if he is. Yes, you should. Nothing there? Yeah. About the bottom, nothing there? Yeah. Nothing but a texture. Yeah, that cutscene from which game was it from? Sonic Adventure 1 or 2? Yeah, that cutscene's a bit of a meme. Proof the statue is loaded aboard in Europe. I mean, this exists, but it no longer matters. Oh, I guess this is the contradiction we're pointing out. That was loaded on board in Europe, but it's on top of the thing that was loaded on board. Oh. Eureka! Not entirely confident there is a contradiction here. What do you think, detective? Well, I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut tells me so. I see. Well, then I must be mistaken. Oh, how come when I answer confidently, you take that to mean we're off course, sir? I'm gonna go save because we're nearly dead. Oh no, I can't leave. I can't leave. Fine. So I'm trying to figure out what the game wants me to show. SA2, okay. Which Sonic cutscene? Oh, the one about Sonic talking to Shadow about one of them being a fake hedgehog. Yeah. Cargo from Zengfar, is it? Is that what we're showing? There we go. Oh, maybe not. There is clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible! But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighbouring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zengfar, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled aboard in Zengfar. But then, what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Hey, I can save. Save my game. Yeah, that cutscene. Faker, you're the fake one around here. I'll make you eat those words. And like one of them like talks over the other, and oh, it's so cheesy. Yeah, whenever they play that game at GDQ, the whole crowd voices that cutscene. It's really funny. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Is that what that means there? Because this certificate would have been made when he originally brought the statue on board, right? But I'm confused. Investigation complete. Help! I guess the victim knew the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh? Yes. While this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zengfar cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zengfar leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move this statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Shouldn't that be really heavy? I guess it's a fake, but still, it's huge. You'd need multiple people to move it. Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Aleph Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. They actually used luminol. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Oh, can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned up the blood well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? Use some cloth. Maybe they used my badge, though? I would suppose that. Perhaps the culprit used this to clean up the blood. There is no need for you to waste your breath if you're just going to waste my time. After all, I hate to waste my energy on wasteful whipping. If it's that wasteful, then I'd rather that you didn't whip me at all. For the killer to clean up the blood, they would have needed something to soak it up. Yes, the cloth. We found how the cloth factors in, finally. The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zengfar. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zengfar? There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zengfar, then this becomes highly suspect. So it happened before they landed, so the statue was... Oh, are we going with that the statue was never actually loaded on board the plane at all? And that's why the certificate's fake? It was left over there where the smugglers then took it instead? Okay. So I was thinking it was replaced in Zengfar. Or was it just somewhere in a different spot of the cargo hold? Alright, who's... When did... Yeah, Miss Mill's testimony. She says he was in his seat when we took off again. Okay. Miss Mill. Let's try the wrong answers though, because it's fun. Miss Tenero's testimony is not particularly suspect, correct? Correct. Well, that's all well and good. Glad we agree. No, that is not all well and good, Miles Edgeworth. I suppose there's no fooling her. The point to focus on is the fact that the crime occurred before we landed in Zingfar. The times referenced by Mr. LeBlanc in his testimony are inaccurate. However, I believe the actual body of his testimony is fairly reliable. What are you sputtering on about over there? Hurry up with your answer. Hold on, I'm still collecting my thoughts. Have you ever seen Shadow the Hedgehog cutscenes? No, I have not. So a streamer I watch is about to stream that game. Actually, yeah, I Ate Your Pie. He's going to be streaming that game soon. I really want to see it, so that's what I'm going to watch. That's going to be really fun. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zingfar, blah blah blah. Miss Mill. Recall Miss Mill's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zingfar. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 AM, you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. To be continued. Dun dun dun. Alright, well, I guess that was in part 1. Now I guess we're doing in part 2. Shadow the Hedgehog is so ridiculously over the top, like a lot of Sonic games. Ah, nice. Nice. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. What's the time? It's only 5 o'clock. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I don't think I need a break or anything. I could use some more water, but I've still got some left, so if I run out mid-segment, I'll just go get some more water quickly. 3:35 PM. Cargo hold. Has Edgeworth slept? He needs a good night's sleep. Miss Meal. Miss Meal. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zingfar? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zingfar. Oh? Miss Cammy Meal. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span, from just before we were to land at 3 AM and 6 AM when the body was found. You telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, you are. Miss Meal's alibi. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. So she has no alibi. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. On what? Like all of that is rubbish. What do we even press her on? Everything. My earbud's falling out. Miss Meal, wake up! Oh, I'm awake. I'm awake. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use? Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Hey, Scourge Maintenance, how are ya? Got some edge to live up to his name. Reminds you of a Tekken character? Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know much about Tekken. My fake yawn was almost as contagious as my real one. If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class and the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 AM. Yeah, that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating, and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way, sleeping's part of our job too, you know? Hold it! Miss Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! Oh, I'm awake, I'm awake. What? Ouch! What did you whip me for, sir? Oh, what did I miss? A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? Sorry about that. You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony. It was so they didn't have to draw a reaction sprite for her. Finally awake, are we? What do you mean? I've been awake this whole time. Ah, it's alright if you were sleeping, pal. Pay no mind to the scruffy detective beside you and wake up. Yeah, they didn't want to bother drawing a new sprite for her. Yeah, hurry up and wake up, Miss Mill. Enough with the clowning around. This is my show and I'll resolve the contradictions as I see fit. Wait, what? Why is this Edgeworth show? And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh. Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? What happens if we say no? Maybe not yet. She hasn't exactly given me much to object to yet, after all. What did I miss? Alright, so what would I... Oh no, I didn't need to present evidence, did I? I just needed to object. Would she say from 5 to 6, was it? Because I think that's when, Is that when Taniro bought the, Hang on. Is that when she bought the suitcase? 5:40 AM. Yeah, she popped in to leave her new suitcase in. Hey Tashiku, how are ya? Stop it, you're trying to pull an all-nighter. Sorry. Yeah, that actually was a real yawn. Yeah, she does whip women. Yeah, that was not a real thing. She does whip women. She whips women a bunch of times in the second game, so... Alright, object to this. Miss Meal, there is a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 AM. Because my bed should have been there. Now take a look at this eye-opening piece of evidence. Miss Meal, I need you to wake up and take a look at this. Enough of your foolishness. Now hurry up and show us the real evidence. I guess this wasn't an eye-opening as I thought. Eliza is the character name from Tekken? Okay. Come on. Your animations are slow. Hurry up. Hurry up. Present. Am I okay? Hopefully I'm not uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm kind of bothered that like multiple people now have accused Francisca of that though. That's really strange. And it was very easy for me to disprove too. And what were we presenting? That's right. The receipt. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 AM. Miss Tenero. Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness, so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 AM, you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? That was kind of hard to say. Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase, after which I went straight to the attendant's room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Mule there at that time? No. So, Miss Mule, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 AM? She's trying to get out of it. Yeah, can we not talk about this? I'm kind of tired of this debate, to be completely honest. Yeah, she whips a lot of heart at least 3 times in case 2-2. She whips Inimini at least twice. She whips Maya in 2-3. Yeah, so let's just drop it, please. Kind of sick of this. Miss Cammy Mule. Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Reason for suspicion. Foolishly fool. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda? Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. They went right over his head. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of, I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Interesting. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. What's she about to say? Look, I know you suspected me because I'm one of the crew. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. Ah, but say I wasn't an attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes. I suppose that's true enough. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She is already being detained for further questioning. Or have you already forgotten? Oh, yeah, guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer. Miss Mule, what did you mean just now by no one else who could have done it? Dude. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know? Oops, wrong button. Dude. And what are you in charge? And what are you in charge of, Miss Mule? I'll take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count! Aw, but I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What did she think we meant? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian. I think we found our forger. Teneri must get tired of walking back and forth like this. Yeah, she's gone all over the place. Yeah, I'll take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Very interesting. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Actually, your on-the-job behaviour makes you super suspicious in my eyes. Huh? But why? While Miss Tenero is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties, you have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist in this line of conjectural questioning. I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. But I do not honestly believe Miss Mule does any actual work aboard this flight. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well... He's learning his tricks from Nick now. Well, I'm in charge of the attendance room and some Borginian stuff. Miss Mule, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very There you go, pushing everything onto her again. I don't get what you're saying. Must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. Oh. So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff? Can't be in charge of Borginian stuff. I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Cammy is the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Mule, I take it then that it is your job to process all the Borginian paperwork. Yeah. See, I totally pull my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work. And... yes, now we get to accuse her of being the forger. If she's the one who does those documents. Where is it? Yeah. Objection. So, you are the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Ah, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Virginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Mule. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. There we go. There's the heel turn. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It's exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. Why is she blowing bubbles? There is no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it. I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. Did she just shoot bubbles at us? the heel turn, oblivious to jerk in no time flat, yeah. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. Uh-oh. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning. There's the piggy bank. But maybe my bed? This piece of evidence will answer all of our questions. Are you sleep presenting or something, Mr. Edgeworth? No, as you can plainly see, I am wide awake. Then I'm afraid you failed. You were making so little sense that I thought maybe you were asleep. Talk about a Dr. Sleepy Mrs. Hyde-esque transformation. Is this it? But wasn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? I need to stay calm, think carefully, and then present the condemning evidence. I think it's the statue. I'm actually going to say... Oh, no, never mind, can't see. I think it's the piggy bank. Let's... The suitcase... Oh, it could be the suitcase as well. Yeah, I think it's the statue. Nope. Ruh-roh. Then it's just the suitcase then. Alright, hang on. Just check if there's anything else. Still haven't found the cell phone. Could be the suitcase, maybe. Possibly. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? Oh, she's stretching the poor teddy bear. The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately, for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me, as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. I'm just going to save in case we need to do something else, because I have 0 health. Yeah, the bubble blower makes it look like a bit like she's smoking. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavour, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Oh boy. Well, I'm glad I saved, because we want to check some wrong answers here. Yeah, who the murder victim was, because it's an Interpol agent, so... I think that's the right answer. Let's try the other ones. The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Mill. Okay, maybe this was the right answer. Oh, the sleep bubbles for the bubble blower. Oh, okay. Oh, that's... Okay, that makes sense. That's kind of clever, actually. Only you and you alone could be the killer. Oh. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. Alright, I'm gonna go back and check those other answers. And those buttons. Did I pull a Phoenix Wright moment there? A Phoenix Wright moment? That's actually pretty cool that she was like making fake bubbles. Oh, a Phoenix Wright moment where I stumbled into the right answer. Yes. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all of the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who was not at their seat to frame. Isn't that an explanation for how the killer chose who, and not why they had to? Well, I thought it best to start from there. Oh, if you're going to talk about completely unrelated matters, do you mind if I take a nap? Hold on, I'm just getting to the meat of my argument. This is probably the same. Restart. Restart. There we go. Check the other answer. The one that I thought was right. So why is this answer not correct? Let's see. Who the victim was. The killer was at a loss of what to do with Agent Hicks's body. But as it just so happened, there were a bunch of empty suitcases nearby. Being a skinny man, the killer thought to put his body in the suitcase and hand it off. You mean that the whole plan to frame someone was an elaborate coincidence? No, that's not what I said. You've wrongly deduced my meaning, Miss Meal. The one with the wrong deductions is you. Think before you speak again. That's not what I was going for at all. Patience, Francisca. I was about to reveal the truth. Sure you were, Edgy. I was going for that he was an Interpol agent, and therefore they were definitely going to arrest a suspect. Is it possible to save at the game over dialogue? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think it lets you open the start menu at the game over dialogue. I hope not anyway. Yeah. Stumble into the right answer again. Murder took place on a plane. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Is there though? Let's save. Got some new music. Are they still flying? Nah, they're on the ground now. Yeah. Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. It's my badge. Take that! This piece of evidence will answer all of our questions. Are you sleep presenting or something, Mr. Edgeworth? Ah, same dialogue as before. I'll check now if it lets you save during game over. Yeah, no, it doesn't let you. Refresh. Soft resets. Pretty good thing. It's LR plus start select. Who doesn't sleep with their badge on? Alright, let's see. What is it actually? Something unaccounted for still. I think the Trevor wallet's probably just a coincidence. It probably just fell out and Edgeworth just happened to pick it up. We still don't know what's going on with the cell phone. So maybe it's the cell phone. We still haven't found it. Yeah, everything else seems to have its place. Yeah, I think it's the cell phone. Take that! I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean, the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks's phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir! Did she plant it on Tenero at some point? I hear it, Detective. Now, where is it coming from? No, I have to find it. Hey, Gummy, let's talk. Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll just have a chat. Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like the cell phone's in the flight attendant's room, sir. Indeed. We should move to retrieve it at once. I'll just walk around and look at things. We've determined that the real crime scene is here. All that's left is to catch the killer. It sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. We'd better hurry to the flight attendant's room, sir. Miss Meal, wake up! Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child. I'd better find that cell phone fast. Mr. Edgeworth. Don't worry, Mr. Nero. I will get to the bottom of this and find the truth. So please, wait here until I return. All right. Thank you for all you're doing, Mr. Edgeworth. Suitcase. It sounds like it's coming from the flight attendant's room. I agree. Please don't hang up just yet. Let me find it first. That's fine, but let's get one thing straight. Yes? Don't you dare answer his phone when you find it, understand? I understand that you don't want to pay for the call. Is that really what it's about? Doesn't want to pay for the call? 4:12 PM. First floor, flight attendant's room. The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. It doesn't seem to be over here. Then let's look somewhere else, sir. Is it still in the suitcase? Well, did she? No, she didn't swap the suitcases. She was gonna. Doesn't seem like the phone got mixed in with the items in this lost and found pile. Well, it's not like the victim would have just dropped it somewhere, right, sir? I'm starting to wonder if she planted it somewhere. I wonder if it might be inside this suitcase. I don't hear any sounds coming from inside, sir. I don't suppose the culprit would have been so dumb as to try the same trick twice. The ringing's coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. You... What? Well, how do we get out of this mess? So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker. What? But... Rhoda Tenero. I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. Objection! This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? Yeah, there must be some evidence on it, I think. Edgy. The cell phone will lead us right to the murderer. Phone points to Tenero. Edgy. No, wait. Yeah. Exactly. It must have something very incriminating on or in it. Hold it. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Oh, yep, 3D! We got the 3D. Well, it is broken. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. This must be the switch that opens the phone. Oh. Ah, it's one of these. Man, this is an old phone. Phones have changed very quickly, haven't they? Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? I mean, what do you think? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that. May I go back to sleep now? Objection! That was a real yawn, by the way. The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the Aleph Red's nowhere in this pic, sir! But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Oh, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? Let me save my game. But I'll learn to yawn on command. Just thinking of the word yawn makes me want to yawn. What if Francie's whip is a USB cable? That's the new headcanon. I like that. Boxes of bed sheets. These are still in the cargo hold. There's nothing unusual about them in particular, but I can't shake the feeling. If you're just playing around, mind if I go home? Yes, I mind. I need to focus on what's different now from back then. Yeah, well these have you moved? What's all this? Oh, you're still here, by the way. Oh, they are cargo shipped from Virginia to Zengfar. So, the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zengfar. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says, it is cloth in English. Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer? But what? What for is that scary face? Miss Meal. Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Okay. Huh. Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. Virginian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. Oh boy. Probably my badge. Would you care to fill me in on what you're trying to prove with that? It's quite simple. It shows that I will be representing my evidence. I'm not laughing. Oh, I am. It wasn't meant to be a laughing matter. Ah, new dialogue. Aren't you out of patience yet? Ha! Unfortunately for you, I am overflowing with patience, and my will is strong. I can keep on investigating you for as long as it takes. Oh, well, unfortunately for you, I've got a flight to catch and attend to. Bye-bye. What? No! Now if you'll excuse me, I must be going. No, wait! How many different wrong endings are there? Camille was never seen nor heard from again. Interesting. Hey, buddy cat. She has to whip twice since she gets it wrong way around the first time. That's good. That was good. Alright. Actually, I didn't look at the suitcases, did I? The fact that all of the suitcases are here in this photo is odd. Agent Hicks was still alive at the time, so what exactly is so odd about suitcases that haven't been used yet being there? Yes, well, I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then. Your off-topic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep yet again, Miles Edgeworth. I'll give Sleepyhead here a rude awakening, a deafening objection and a contradiction. Yeah, how come she isn't, like, under arrest as a suspect? I guess she's not the current official suspect, since they're going for Tenero as a suspect. No fast forward in this game. I guess you have to actually, like, finish a case before you're allowed to fast forward it. Piece of evidence. Let's save it now, actually, in case I actually do get this wrong. A 10-hour loop of me yawning. Continue. Also, I just want to apologise to everyone for being snappy earlier. I had a stressful couple days, so I apologise. Yawning is contagious. Yeah, even just the word yawning is... Now I want to yawn. Alright. Piece of evidence. What do we got? So he left us with a cloth. Is there something about this cloth that's special? Yellow and purple? We'll have those days, yeah. Yeah, I haven't had one in a while, so... Caught me by surprise. I don't think there's anything special about the suitcase. I mean, he didn't use it. I'm kind of stumped on this one, actually. I don't think there's anything else to look at with the phone, is there? When did they start putting keyboards like these into cell phones? Aren't you rich, Edgeworth? Shouldn't you have a fancy phone? Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently. Computer cell phones? Yeah, it's got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? All you need in a phone is the phone part, nothing more. I'm guessing yours can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenient. Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, Detective? Oh, no, sir. As they say, simple is best. Yeah, I'm thinking of the cloth, but I'm not seeing why the cloth. Okay. And he didn't have anything to do with that. Right? Is he showing his age? Yeah, exactly. Travel wallet. I mean, I can try the cloth. I'm not sure how it relates, but we'll find out. And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. I mean, it came from that box, but I'm not sure what that means. The cargo that was unloaded in Zengfire had cloth written on it. Ah, she could read Borginian. Okay, here we go. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy Mule. Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? Yeah, there was a box of bed sheets that they could have used. Just in case I have to point that out, I need to save my game. Don't have much health. There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then... yeah. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. The suitcase. This proves that the killer knew how to read Borginian. What? You don't fool me. Don't pretend as though you don't see what I'm talking about. I don't understand either. I don't get it at all, sir. Alright then, I will show it to you all once again, in a more understandable fashion. You don't fool me. Don't pretend as though you know what you're talking about. I probably should have known better than to play pretend. Playing pretend. Would be cool if they did remaster this game in the other games, release them as a HD collection as well. That would be cool. Especially if they did an official English release of Investigations 2. Hey, it says bedsheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different colour. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zangfar? That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy Mule. You and you alone. She's just holding the teddy bear as defense. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zangfar authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. Grr. So what do you say, Miss Mule? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zangfar? No! That's a strange breakdown. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I... 5:26 PM. First floor lounge. Who called Cammy as the killer? She was one of my suspects, but yeah, I didn't really narrow her down enough, so I can't really take any credit. We're finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth? I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that... well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. We can just give it to Gumshoe. I mean, he wanted one. You called her as a killer because you played this before? I like Rhoda, actually. Rhoda's pretty good. And remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. 5:47 PM, Hope Springs Airport. Hey, Shizzle. Oh, sorry, we're right at the end of the case. Sorry, Shizzle. Well, at least you haven't had it spoiled for you, so you can watch the VOD and... Yeah, sorry, Shizzle. Oh. Does that appear in his office in one of the Phoenix Wright games? Oh, the suitcase? Maybe in a later one? Because we only saw his office in... of the games I've played, I've only seen his office in the very first game. And that was before he got the suitcase. So maybe it'll show up later. That could be cool. Francisca. Oh, that's right. No, the office... Yeah, we saw his office in the first case of this game, and that was set after this one, wasn't it? And we didn't see the suitcase. Oh well. I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisca von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pierrot living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent. He's a star among Interpol agents, and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. Him? I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back. In full. Gee, I wonder if we're going to meet that person. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for a whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Aw, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Hey, don't blame her. You've been cutting his salary too. Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war. They would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Ah, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son. He's been kidnapped. He's been kidnapped. The end. A brand new episode has been added. Francisca, she was going to work with Interpol on something. Kidnapped. The end. Yeah. Oh, there you go. What's the time? Alright. Well, I don't think we should start the next case today because we wouldn't get very far in it. We'll just save. And we'll start the next case next time. Episode 3, The Kidnapped Turnabout. Yeah. I think I might end the stream now, actually, and get some rest and recuperate. The end, didn't I hear? Ah, okay. We're done with the game then? Alright. No more Ace Attorney investigations. It's over. Kidnapped, and thus the truth was lost for all eternity. Hey, CD Wizard, welcome. Yeah, so I think I will end the stream now and just rest and recuperate. I think I do need some rest and such. Case 3 is weird. It's structured oddly. Ah, okay. I suppose I'll just kind of stumble through it. Yeah, sorry, CD Wizard. We just finished off a case, so... Yeah, if I was feeling better, I might play some Mario Kart, but I think I should kind of take it easy. So thank you all very much for watching. That was quite fun, actually. That definitely did help improve my mood and such. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. And I will send you all over to I Ate Your Pie, who's playing Mario Maker 2 Versus, which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. /raid I Ate Your Pie. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. See yas.